I'd like you guys to each 2 minutes closing,
Okay.
in the interest of time.
Part of the solution we've been telling the government of Zimbabwe is listen.
This is your last 2
Yeah.
minutes. Your last
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Part of the solution we've been telling the government of Zimbabwe is listen here. You need to start teaching your people how to be refugees if they are refugees. And you also need to start training your people about the opportunities we've got at home that they need to come and take advantage of. So, for instance, getting a mining license in Zimbabwe is $79. Why are you struggling to be a waiter in South Africa when you can come and get a mining license and start mining? There are institutions like the Zimbabwe Miners Federation that is there to train those people on how to become a small-scale miner to become bigger. We need them to educate people that if you're going to go to South Africa, don't jump the border. If you are a refugee and you are displaced by economic conditions that Fikile Mbalula and the ANC acknowledge, go and do the process of applying so that you don't become an illegal immigrant, so that you are recognized as a refugee, and follow the process. So our government has got to start reorientating our people. Then when we make money in South Africa, those of us who can make money in South Africa, let's teach our people and encourage them to invest it back home so that we can grow the economy. And finally, we want South Africans to stop decampaigning Zimbabwe. As long as SABC continues to make Zimbabwe look like a place where people can't invest, it's going to be difficult for Zimbabweans and foreigners to invest. As long as SABC is lying about the political situation, making us look like savages, it's going to make it difficult for people to invest in Zimbabwe, create companies that are going to make Zimbabweans have somewhere to go and work. And then finally, we have to work on these sanctions. The sanctions are illegal. Everybody accepts that. If we work hard to remove those sanctions so that investment can travel into Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe can pay for medicines, they can pay for chemicals to clean water. I mean, DBSA denied Zimbabwe money to build a plant to manufacture our own chemicals to clean water. We need South African companies to stop DBSA.
South Africa.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Rutendo.
So we need South Africa to stop complying with these sanctions, to allow institutions, companies, and businesses to be built in Zimbabwe so that Zimbabweans have a place where they can get medication, clean water, healthcare, jobs, and an economy that functions.
Thank
It's
you.
amazing
Ike,
that
2 minutes.
It's amazing
This
with
is your
Zimbabwe.
last 2 minutes.
It's amazing with Zimbabwe because they always blame somebody else, SABC. It's like, Putin blaming CNN and saying, you've got RT, you've got Zimbabwe television. I mean, you've got,
But you
internet
banned
now.
RT.
Allow him Rutendo.
You've
It's his
got,
last
you've
2
got
minutes.
unlimited, information platforms where you can, push your propaganda. But all the time, DBSA, set up your own mechanism. Set up your own mechanism like the Afrikaners did. I don't know whether it's an African thing, like to be
It's a
blaming
capital thing.
blaming
It's a capital
everybody else. I mean, look at other countries, like Israel. They didn't say, we don't have water. They just go to the sea and clean water.
They got
and then,
32 billion in reparations.
It's allowed, Rutendo.
but what I'm trying to say is that, Zimbabweans, they're always blaming everybody else, but Zimbabweans themselves, they must take accountability at some point, and say, what is it that we can do amongst ourselves, there's brick and water in Zimbabwe. Let's move these two and build, But for South Africans, I'm saying South Africans, they've never hated foreigners from day one, we call them Abu Spale, but after 1994, we started getting abused because we thought that these are our brothers. They've been liberated since the 60s, 1957. They're going to teach us things that we did not know how to govern because they've been free. But when they came here, it was a different picture. They wanted to take and take and take. And worst of all, crime became worse. And then we started to wonder because now we're looking at Thomas Sankara, Petrus Lumumba, thinking, hey, our brothers will come. How we used to admire Abu J.J. Okocha. We used to admire Abu Peter Ndlovu,
But crime reduced,
Let's leave it, Rutendo, please.
And we thought that, guys are coming here. There was a time, Gambia, South Africa, but now we started getting irritated, because guys, they've got this entitlement culture. They started calling us stupid. They started calling us all these things that we're lazy. And most of them, they come here for institutions, education, our services were top-notch, our hospitals, our
Because of
infrastructure,
apartheid.
and they start messing up our infrastructure. I mean, today we don't have a railway. you know. And thanks to Lesotho and Mozambicans and Zimbabweans, they've
But
chowed
what- you
our
believe-
No, Rutendo.
They've chowed the railway. They've chowed everything there. We've got load shedding. They chow cables. They don't love this country like I love this country. In fact, they had that thing, Yoguti, you think that you are better. You think that you are white. You know, and that I find it offensive. If you come to another person's country, you behave, you know. If I come to your country, I behave. South Africans, when they go to Zimbabwe, first of all, they're stopped by soldiers. They want protection fee money. They'll ask you about the car radio, reflectors and all that. But when Zimbabweans are here, they move freely. I see yellow registration, some registration from Botswana, they are free. He's talking about that you can go to Zimbabwe and mine. I doubt that South Africans, they'll be welcome.
They're there.
Look at, no, there are few elites, ANC,
Lots.
Bom
No, no, no,
Zikumalo.
no, no, no.
Yeah, you're talking
Normal
about Bom
guys.
Let's
Zikumalo,
finish
there are
off,
few
Ike, please.
elites. Look at when we play soccer. They even kick us like we are not brothers, you know, and then they talk brothers. You know, they give us hostile treatment, bad hotels, no water infrastructure, my player with my so I pay to Izisu. And that, you know, we thought that no.
Where is
brothers.
this way
What
now?
bad? Everywhere we play, but
No,
we,
no,
get,
in
we
Zimbabwe.
get bad treatment, including all over Africa. From Cape to Cairo, these guys, they hate us. We were surprised. Now, Mark Fish, they were surprised. What's going on here? There was a time when Dr. Kumalo scored a goal. A beautiful goal. You know, he dribbled everybody. The soldiers came in.
Where?
He ran away. One of the African. He ran away out of the you know.
Let's finish off, Ike,
It's
please.
only later they called him, but no, Baba, man. I praise Baba. Let's go lead. Now he
But-
says,
but we
because
get more than 2
he's-
minutes.
He's
We
always
get more than
afraid.
I'm trying to get
That's-
him to finish, Rutendo.
Yeah, because, you know, we are always afraid.
But Ike, before you finish. do you
Rutendo,
know-
no, unfortunately
one
not.
word,
Unfortunately not.
one word. Ike, do you know that the murder rate and the crime rate have all reduced ever since 1994? I want you to look at that.
We'll
And there's an
research that.
advocate. I think you already know that. You know.
I'd
you
like to
already
thank
know
both of you
Thanks
gentlemen.
to
I'd like to thank both of you gentlemen. Rutendo Matinyarare from Zimbabwe, Ike Kumalo from South Africa. Everyone who was listening to this conversation, we look forward to hearing some of your thoughts, your comments. Please feel free to ask more questions. I believe these gentlemen will be in the comments to answer some of them, and some of them that are not answered in the comments, I will try my best to get them to sit down again soon so that we can tackle this thing, because I think it's fundamentally important. We love this continent. A lot of us love our countries. Yes, we're dealing with a lot of colonial issues that we've inherited, and these are some of the consequences that we're dealing with. But thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll catch up with you guys again soon. Cheers.